Hello, everyone. I'm Bart Barker with Wilson County Schools. In celebration of Black History Month, this week we honor pivotal moments and events. Nat Turners Rebellion, African Americans' role in World War II, Brown versus Board of Education, Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Selma, and the election of Barack Obama. In August 1831, Nat Turner struck fear into the hearts of white Southerners by leading the most effective slave rebellion in U.S. history. Born on a small plantation in Southampton County, Virginia, Turner inherited a passionate hatred of slavery from his African-born mother. Although the immediate goals of the rebellion were unsuccessful, the increased repression of Southern black people would strengthen anti-slavery feeling in the North through the 1860s and intensify the regional tensions building toward civil war. During World War II, many African Americans were ready to fight for what President Franklin D. Roosevelt called the four freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear, even while they themselves lacked those freedoms at home. More than 3 million black Americans would register for service during the war, with some 500,000 seeing action overseas. According to War Department policy, enlisted black and white people were organized into separate units. Frustrated black servicemen were forced to combat racism even as they sought to further U.S. war aims. This became known as the Double V strategy. For those two victories, they sought to win. Moving on to the courts. Although the Supreme Court declared segregation of public schools illegal in Brown versus Board of Education in 1954, the decision was extremely difficult to enforce, as 11 Southern states enacted resolutions interfering with, nullifying, or protesting school desegregation. After a federal court ordered the desegregation of Central High School, located in Little Rock, Arkansas, Governor Faubus called out the Arkansas National Guard to prevent 9 African-American students from entering the school. TV cameras captured footage of white mobs converging on the Little Rock 9 outside of the high school. For millions of viewers throughout the country, the unforgettable images provided a vivid contrast between the angry forces of white supremacy and the quiet, dignified resistance of the African-American students. President Dwight D. Eisenhower eventually federalized the state's National Guard and sent 1,000 members of the United States Army's 101st Airborne Division to enforce the integration of Central High School. The 9 black students eventually were able to enter the school under heavily armed guard. In early 1965, Martin Luther King Jr.'s Southern Christian Leadership Conference made Selma, Alabama, the focus of its efforts to register black voters in the South. At the time, only 2% of Selma's eligible black voters had managed to register to vote. On March 21st, after a U.S. District Court ordered Alabama to permit the Selma-Montgomery March, some 2,000 marchers set out on a 3-day journey protected by U.S. Army troops and Alabama National Guard forces under federal control. "No tide of racism can stop us," King proclaimed from the steps of the state capitol building, addressing the nearly 50,000 supporters who met the marchers in Montgomery. And finally, on January 20th, 2009, Barack Obama was inaugurated as the 44th President of the United States. He is the first African American to hold that office. Obama grew up in Hawaii, but discovered his civic calling in Chicago, where he worked for several years as a community organizer on the city's largely black South Side. After withstanding a tight Democratic primary battle, Obama was able to clinch victory in the general election that November. Obama's appearances in both the primaries and the general election drew impressive crowds, and his message of hope and change, embodied by the slogan, "Yes, we can." It inspired thousands of new voters, many young and black, to cast their vote for the first time in the historic election. He was reelected in 2012. We hope you've enjoyed these series throughout Black History Month. This rounds out the 4th in a 4-part series that we've been able to deliver to you this month. And again, we hope you've enjoyed. It's been informative. And again, we thank you for watching and listening. Have a good day.